Good afternoon, everyone. Welcome to your introductory session with Brit College for Unit 8 Research Project. My name is Roman Puchkov, and I am your tutor on this unit. Um, and I would like to welcome you to your first session, where I would like to introduce you to what research is all about and how this unit is going to be delivered to you. You can also play this video using e-learning with Brit College and watch it in your spare time, and I hope you're going to enjoy it. Let's kick off. First of all, it's an exciting time for you to start your research journey. There is a very interesting, engaging, and pretty much challenging at the same time road ahead of you right at the end of your course. And I'm sure that you are looking forward to graduating from Brit College, and the research project is essentially a crowning element of your course. First of all, I would like to discuss with you some of the myths which some of you have shared with me so far as to how difficult research project can be. It might be a bit boring, what the expectations are, it's very scary and so on. Let me just tell you something. This is certainly a very important unit on your H&D program in business. However, it is probably not the most important one, as all units are important on the program, and more importantly, you can build upon the previous experience, skills, and competences you gained over the course when you studied other units to embed, to incorporate into your research project. As I said, it is coming right at the end of your journey, and it's a crowning element of the program. So, with the final effort, let's press on and deliver high quality projects. It is equally not so hard as you probably might think, as long as you know what the process is, as long as you know what the research is and should be all about, as long as you have selected a proper topic and research problem, research question you want to investigate, it shouldn't be hard. It shouldn't be scary either, because you're going to be exploring lots of interesting things, and on your journey you will be allocated a supervisor, a personal academic supervisor, to guide you through your research journey. It could be me, it could be any of other colleagues you already met when you studied at Brit College, and they are here to support you. I'm going to talk about the arrangements for research supervision in a minute. It does all require good planning, however, so that you can manage your time effectively and deliver results. So, as you see, these myths are only just myths, and we shouldn't be really be scared of any research activities that you are gonna do in the coming couple of months. All right then, talking about more specifics. First of all, when you submit your research project, which is just about 3,500 words, the content of it is entirely up to you. You decide the subject or topic area you want to specialize in, and that is an opportunity for you to select what you feel most comfortable with. Certainly, it should be linked to business, Yes, you can look into various areas of business in marketing, finance, human resource management, sales, accounting, taxation, anything which you feel more comfortable with, probably something you already are working in, maybe in that particular area, or you see your future job in, let's say, taxation, you want something to write about taxation. Certainly, there should be a narrowed research question, a specific um, area you want to explore within the subject. You clearly need to understand what you're trying to aim, what the objectives of your research are, something which my colleagues are going to talk about in their session to cover learning outcome number 1. And then in the end of the day, it's up to you to decide what you're going to read, how you're going to collect your data, how you're going to analyze, and it is you who is going to determine the conclusions and recommendations. So this project is all about you, really. The way we are going to construct our teaching and learning experience is as follows. There will be 4 one-hour sessions with your tutors, plus there will be some group activities, we call them syndicate groups, which will help you to understand what the research project is all about and what it is not about, and try and understand how to research. Many of you assume that research project is just another assignment I need to produce, which is partially true, but as I said, it is more about yourself and about what you want to do. And to help you with the decision making, we're going to allocate you a supervisor. We recommend that after you complete this master course, you are going to have at least 5 contacts, one-to-one contacts, in space of approximately 2 months in November, December, which we would recommend you to meet with your supervisors. You can meet them in the college, you can meet them elsewhere. There could be remote supervision via Skype, you can interact with them by emails. So there are a lot of ways how you can actually independently learn under supervision of your tutor to guide you through your research journey. In addition to that, these masterclasses, as well as all teaching materials, will be available on e-learning with Brit College. And, of course, it is very much useful for those of you who probably did not have a chance to take part in the masterclasses. Let's move on. I'm going to talk a little bit about the process of your research. As I said, you will be allocated an academic supervisor to guide you through your research journey. But before that, we really need to know a little bit about what you would like to propose as a research. What will be the topic, the subject area of your choice? We have a lot of supervisors at Brit College, and many of them specialize in narrowed areas. For example, my area of expertise is more on human resource management, organizational behavior. Some of us might be specializing in accounting or finance, depending on your topic and the specific specific research issue you want to investigate into. We will allocate you a supervisor. And it's also important that you need to read a lot, so on your subject area, so the literature that you have already engaged with and an idea of how you might collecting the data should also be helpful at this stage. 5 meetings with your supervisor, which can be done remotely. The dates of time of meetings will be agreed purely between you and the supervisor. You will have time between pretty much end of November up to 9th of January when you're going to complete and submit your research project. Between these dates, it's entirely up to you when you would like to meet your supervisor, in what form and how, and we recommend that at least 5 points of contact will be made between you and the supervisor in the coming couple of months or so. We also have produced guidance notes to understand the role of your supervisor and your role in this process. I'll just show you this document, and the handout is available for you to view. It looks like this. It's a little bit of bulky document, but it clearly explains the role of the supervisor, okay, what we as supervisors are to do and what we are not doing, and also responsibilities of yourself. For example, it will be your responsibility to contact us and show your work, have structured meetings, and plan your time effectively. So this document is available on e-learning for you to view. Please take a look. It's just 6 pages to read, but it gives you a lot of information, useful information, what the expectations are from both ourselves as supervisors, from the college, and from you guys. I'm going to come back now to my presentation. I've just described the process, so I'm moving on to the next stage of my presentation, just to give you a little bit of insights what the research is all about. I'm going to use a definition, a very common definition of research. Research is essentially a process of planning, executing, and investigating in order to find answers. It's pretty much like you are a detective. You want to investigate a particular problem. You want to collect the evidence. You want to collect the data, analyze this data, produce information, okay, and try and use this information to answer the question. In order to get reliable answers to your questions, you need to do this investigation in a systematic manner. And this is what the masterclasses are all about. So we're going to give you some ideas how this systematic manner is going to work, so that it's easier for you and others to understand the logic, what we call the methodology, how you're going to undertake your project, how you're going to collect and analyze data, and the findings you're going to put in your report, findings from your investigation. Finding a research topic, as it says, it's not indeed an easy task, and that is a crucial in success. So that's why we're going to spend a little bit more time today to explain to you what are the tips to find a good research topic. You will need to focus upon your chosen topic when you formulate a particular area, particular research question within your topic, and guide the whole research process. One of the key criteria of your research success will be whether you have a set of clear conclusions drawn from the data which you are going to collect. The extent to which you can do that will be determined largely by the clarity with which you have posed your initial research question. So today we are going to try and formulate research questions together, the topics and questions which you would like to specifically investigate into. In doing so, you really need to consider a few things. It's up to you to think what interests you. You are the one to answer this question. Are you interested more in accounting and financing, or are you more on human resource management or marketing? And within these areas, what exactly you would like to be specializing in? Maybe in your job, you are already doing something interesting. You want to focus on your job, on the area you specialize in your employment as part of your research project. You also need to think what sort of data you need to investigate. Is it some sort of survey I want to carry out? What sort of information I am really looking for? You also want to know how you're going to get this data. If I am going to collect primary data, for example, in form of survey, am I going to just go on the street and distribute the questionnaires to the participants in my local shop, or I'm doing sort of explorative research and I'm going to browse the literature, internet, other secondary sources to actually get the data I need to address my research question. What sort of skills I need in order to do that? Is the subject business and management related? Is what I'm interested in actually relates to what I study on this course, H&D in business? How experienced am I? Have I done any research in the past? For example, in the previous units. Am I good in investigating generally? What sort of work experience I have, which I can embed into my research, and so on and so forth. How much time I have. We allocate approximately 9 weeks for you to complete your research. Is it enough? How am I going to plan that? What sort of research I'm going to be able to complete in this space of time? And finally, you certainly may wish to draw upon some other units which you completed on this course, particularly work-based experience unit which you just completed, that is very much linked with your research project, so you can draw upon from your work-based experience, and you can also look into business decision-making unit where you already started to complete a survey. What else? My colleagues will elaborate in more detail as part of Learning Outcome 1 how you're going to formulate your research question, or we sometimes call it statement. But what you really need to start with is to have a clear idea that in the form of a statement, in the form of your research question, what actually you want to investigate, what you want to study as part of your project. And it should be pretty much narrow. You can't just say, I want to study human resource management. I want to investigate into taxation. It's too broad. What aspect of HRM you are most interested in which country, in which industry, what particular organization perhaps you are looking at. What sort of taxation, what type of taxation you want to investigate into, what are the practical application of tax system in UK you are most interested, for example. Try to narrow it down. It should be well thought. It should be focused, not just something generic. And we don't want just another really essay to write on what taxation or human resource management is. you really want to look into that in a form of a question. Yes, to what extent, for example, increase in taxation may influence small businesses in UK. Or you want to test a hypothesis in your research so that you make some assumptions that, for example, increase in tax in Britain by 2% may lead to demotivating small businesses to develop in this country in a particular industry that could be produced in a form of testing these hypotheses. You're making some assumptions. Finally, I need to touch the base on the learning outcomes which are to be delivered in this masterclass. Learning outcome number 1, you are going to be able to understand how to formulate what we call research specifications. Aims and objectives, your research question, how you're going to collect and analyze data, what sort of literature you're going to be reviewing to support your research, how you're going to analyze the information you gathered and present findings and make some conclusions and recommendations. Then in learning outcome number 2, we're going to look into how you're going to implement your research plan in practice. So there are agreed procedures and you should be able to implement your project within these procedures and to the specifications detailed in learning outcome number 1. Learning outcome number 3, you want to evaluate the outcomes of what you've done. You want to evaluate the results, the findings from your research project, and then simply present it in a form of your research report, which is learning outcome number 4, able to present research outcomes. Thank you very much. And at this point, I think I would like to wish you a very good luck on research journey, and we are going to move on to learning outcome number 1 in a minute. Enjoy it, and thank you very much. Bye.